Well, this is Butcher Day. This is food, all you never wanted to know. Here are our chicken travel cages. If you'll notice, they're short, and the reason for that is so the birds don't try to stand up while you're driving and hurt themselves or climb onto each other, which would hurt them too. We got these from a farmer, used years and years ago, and very cheap. I think they were $10 each, and they were pretty much in super good condition. But we're doing this early morning. We took the feed away last night. You do that so there's no grain in their gullets, or we'll talk about that later. But it's important for the butcher so he can do a clean processing. And they're all still sleeping. We were hoping to get them asleep, but we can't see without our headlamps. So we're going to see how this goes. Okay, this is the system. My husband grabs them, and I stand here with the cage open. Come on, critter. They have loved this big pen. The disadvantage in this pen is that when it rains, it collects on the tarps because we don't have a top or a peak, because usually it's not used that way. Anyway, I'm gonna stop this and I'll show you getting them out of the chicken tractor. He's doing really well though, really quickly. I guess they're still tired. Let's see how big they are. Later we'll weigh the final product and we'll see. See, at night they huddle together for warmth, I guess, or it's not really that cold. It's been down in the low 60s, upper 50s at night. This is October 13th.
No.
14th?
13.
Whatever it is, it's October, and we've been lucky not to have. See how they just huddle down there? They just sit. We're thinking maybe 5. Was that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe not because of space, but because they're going to be heavy. So that's it for this cage. Well, we almost have this pen open. We had 10 birds in this pen, so we're going to put 5 in each cage. That makes 2 cages. Okay. They're not frisky early in the morning or late at night. They're very, very just dopey almost. I don't think chickens see well in the dark. There we go. So that one is full. It's not really full, but again, they're heavy. Next, the chicken tractor. Oop, get in there. As soon as they get in, they settle down.
Okay. Can you move this back here to keep the door open?
Good idea. Okay. All right. He's got the hard job, but it's just as important to keep the lid shut. Whoa. They are big. Three, 4. Pinch its feathers. Okay. this one out of the way. Oh boy, that's heavy. Okay. One thing of these Cornish crosses is almost all the birds, all the chicken, just about, probably, that you buy from the store or in a restaurant is probably Cornish cross. Cornish cross is not a breed, but a hybrid.
And you will notice I'm not damaging the birds in any way. I'm being very careful how I handle them.
Oh yeah, yeah. And these cages help keep them safe while they travel. And we don't put too many in at a time. Gentle with the wings. Okay. Anyway, so what was I saying? Do you remember what I was saying? Oh dear. I'll remember in a minute. Wow, these ones are feistier. Oh, I have a feather. Anyway, okay, so all the birds that you buy in the food store, 1, 2, 3, 4, are Cornish cross, most likely. Unless it says heritage, it's Cornish cross. These birds, get your head down. These birds grow extremely fast. I always say that they're bred to have eating disorders. Oh yeah, it's heavy. They're bred to have eating disorders. They just, all they want to do is eat, 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 eat. If you put feed there, even if they're not hungry, they come over and start to gorge. So they were bred to want to eat all the time. And what happens, if they don't get butchered in a timely manner, they actually will start to die. Now, we've had excellent luck with these birds. And actually, since we've been doing this ourselves, we very, very rarely have a bird who dies, even in a brooder. We had one that died in a brooder. This time, I think because it had some internal thing wrong with it, because everything else was just fine. But, yeah, so if you keep them too long, they'll start to die on their own from heart attacks. And I think it's Frank Reese who does heritage birds, heritage chickens, heritage turkeys. He's a master breeder, probably the best poultry breeder in the country, maybe in the whole world. Frank Reese always says that the Cornish cross chickens, any of these hybrid chickens or hybrid turkeys, there are broad-breasted turkeys that are the same equivalent of the broad-breasted as the Cornish crosses, only in chicken world. Okay, that's enough for this one, I think. Do we have another pen?
Yep.
He always says that they are teenage body or on a juvenile hen, or an old body on a juvenile, like a baby bone structure. Their bone structures are not enough as they grow. They grow too fast for their bone structure. So what happens if you don't take them to the butcher in a timely manner, they just start to die. And, you know, so they were bred for meat production, and these are the birds that you eat when you buy them at the store, at the food store. So we only have 4 to go. We have another pen coming. So we're going to use 6. What's that? Oh, I don't have to? Okay. Okay. And they're pretty docile at this point. We have done a lot of heritage birds in the past, and I do hope to do some more again. I would like to find a heritage chicken that's worth growing for meat. The problem is they take way longer, which is okay if you don't have to go visit your kids in another state for a week at a time. We may get someone to be able to help us if we ever go away like that. But in any case, we're almost done here. So just one lonely bird just sitting there going la-di-da-di-da. I have the whole pen to myself. Okay, it's not going to give up. All right, so we only lost the one in the brooder. We have not lost any more. And over the times that we've done birds here, or also where we used to live before we moved here, we have lost almost no birds at all. I don't know if it's because we give them more space. If any of you have ever seen pictures of the indoor factory farm barns, they can be pretty tight. So you keep them healthy. Being outside keeps them healthier, definitely. They have fresh air, they have sunlight, they have the fresh grass, which they eat. They have bugs, which they eat. I've seen stickers on store birds, store chicken, and that boasts, oh, vegetarian fed. Well, chickens are not vegetarians. Is it omnivores? Is that what it's called? They eat bugs, they eat worms, they'll eat snakes. I've never seen that, but I've heard they'll eat snakes. And in this case, they've had plenty of grasshoppers this year, I think. So we're gonna put them in our trailer, not try to stuff all those in our car. So anyway, we shall see. They barely fit. Oh boy. So I don't think we've ever used 6 cages before. I don't think we've ever had birds this big. We expected them all to be females, and I think they threw some roosters in there, but we got them in. Waiting for the butcher to get done with the chickens, and my husband is already working at taking apart the pen. That's amazing. Good job, dear. Okay, we're back from the butcher. These birds were awesome, and this does not even include the parts. We're gonna weigh the parts next. The smallest chicken was 5 pounds, 3.8 ounces. And it goes up, 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 up. The biggest chicken was 5 pounds, 15. I'm sorry. Right, the biggest chicken was 7 pounds, 15.1 ounces. 9.9 ounces away from 8 pounds. Next, we're going to weigh the parts. Okay, so this was quite a day for us. It's kind of late at night. We've missed dinner time, but that's fine. Happily, we have a butcher who will cryovac for us. That's this wonderful packaging where the air is taken out. And we appreciate that a lot, because last time we did it by ourselves and bagged them ourselves and used the little machine to suck the air out, it took us hours, literally hours, to do this. It costs $1 per chicken extra to do this. So the cost of butchering was $2.50 per bird, plus $1 to package them. The parts added an extra $1 per bird. So we only got, I believe it was 6 birds in pieces, cut in parts. So anyway, what we do now is we put all of the meat in the refrigerator for at least 24 hours, possibly 48, sometimes 3 days. You need to keep it at a good cold temperature in the mid-30s, possibly upper 30s. And the reason you do that before you freeze them or before you cook any is because the chicken muscles will be stiff, and that equals tough chicken. So we don't want that. After all that work of raising them organically on pasture and moving them every day, and they're full of omega-3 fatty acids. These are the best chickens you can possibly, I don't even think you can buy. So
the muscles relax and in the refrigerator if they're there for a day or two?
Yes. And so I'm gonna check them every day, see if the chicken legs on the whole chickens will wiggle or whether they're stiff. If they're stiff, they're not quite ready yet. But I really don't want to go beyond 2 days, 3 at the most. Some people do it longer. They need to get in the freezer. They need to be done with. And I am going to add one more little clip later when I go through and add up the weights. These birds were massive, and we'll talk to you later. Beautiful, beautiful evening. The sun is setting. So anyway, these are the Butcher Day specs, and if you can key in on that, we got 212 pounds of chicken out of 29 birds. They were a 7.3 pound average butcher weight. So if you were to buy them in the store, each bird was that average butcher weight. Our costs, we started with 30 chicks. The shipping and the chicks were $79. The feed was $284 total by the time we were done. The butcher fee was $112. Total costs were $475. $475 divided by 212 pounds made it $2.24 a pound. And there's just a little note here. We had leftover grit, we had the equipment, we already had the infrastructure, like this. You want to look at this? Trusty chicken tractor. We already had the infrastructure. We built the chicken tractor about 2 or 3 years ago. Your costs are going to vary. Your feed costs will vary. If you have to pay for water, we don't pay for water because we have a well. We needed some electric when we did the brooder lamp. So we also had the brooder lamp. We had grit left over from years before. We had whatever other things that we used. We've just sort of bought a little bit at a time over the years. And so your costs will vary. Anyway, if you're thinking about doing chickens, I'm going to do a little video in a while about tips for raising meat birds. So again, this is Food All You Never Wanted to Know. Signing off. Take care. Share, like, subscribe.